Number one, Tom having failed to complete the task comma, Dick started to show how to do it. Now look at this sentence. There are two different subjects. One is Tom and the other is Dick. Subject plus a having plus past participle of the verb. It is acting as the nominative absolute or absolute phrase, which means it can act independently to the main part of the sentence, without which the main part of the sentence is complete, though there is a cause and effect relation. You see that started is the only finite verb. Dick started to show how to do it. Now there is only finite verb, that is started, and it is the main part of the sentence. And Tom having failed to complete the task, it is acting as the absolute phrase, that is independent phrase, that is complete in itself phrase to the main sentence, to the main part of the sentence. And there must be two different subjects. Otherwise, you can't construct absolute phrase or nominative absolute. However, welcome to my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. And my viewers, please, those who have not yet subscribed my channel, do not hesitate to subscribe, to like, to comment and share, so that I may be encouraged and enthused to appear before you with more tidbits of grammar. Thanking all of you. Let us start again. Number two, for example, the monk was tired. The monk was tired. Full stop. The jar started turning soil for the monk. The jar started turning the soil for the monk. You see that there are two different sentences and there is a cause and effect relation. The monk was tired. Here there is be verb. You know that there are three forms of be verb: am, is, are, and the past of which are was and were. The monk was tired. The jar started turning the soil for the monk. Now let us use this part of the sentence, the cause part of the sentence, as the nominative absolute or absolute phrase. Answer. The monk being tired, comma, the jar started turning the soil for the monk. So, the czar started turning the soil for the monk. This is the main part of the sentence. And the monk being tired is nominative absolute or absolute phrase. It is acting as the independent phrase attached to the main part of the sentence, but without the absolute phrase, this part of the sentence or the meaning of the sentence is clear or distinct. There is no problem. Clear? Now let us come to the third example. For example, the sun rose. The sun rose, full stop. The swallow flew away from the shoulder of the Happy Prince. It is Oscar Wilde's story. Shoulder of the Happy Prince. And you see that there are two different sentences. The sun rose. Here there is no verb. The swallow flew away from the shoulder of the Happy Prince. There is obviously a cause and effect relation, and there are two different words and there are two different subjects. You see, the sun, the swallow, the two different subjects. Now let us combine into a simple sentence by using nominative absolute or absolute phrase. The sun having risen, answer. The sun having risen, comma, the swallow flew away. The swallow flew away from the shoulder of the Happy Prince. From the shoulder of the Happy Prince. Okay? My dear viewers, you see that the sun is subject plus having plus past participle of the verb. And this is the process of constructing nominative absolute. Subject plus having plus rise plus past participle of the verb. But where there is no main verb or where there is only be verb, there you may write having been or being plus adjective. However, this part of the sentence is absolute phrase or nominative absolute, and it is attached to the main sentence. The swallow flew away from the shoulder of the Happy Prince, and only one finite verb, that is flew away. So it is an example of simple sentence, and without the absolute phrase or nominative absolute, this part of the sentence is able to express its meaning clearly. Okay? And what is a phrase? You know that a phrase is a group of words without having a finite verb, but it is also the part of a sentence. So, the sun having risen is the part of a sentence. It is nominative absolute or absolute phrase, and it is also the phrase. Clear? Now let us come to the fourth example. Let us come to the fourth example. For example, the rose bloomed. The rose bloomed. Okay? The butterfly sat on it. The butterflies sat on it. You see that rose is a subject, the butterflies is also a subject, but there are two different subjects. And there is obviously a cause and effect relation between the two sentences. And what has happened first? The rose bloomed. So, how can you combine the two sentences into a simple sentence? By using nominative absolute or absolute phrase. The rose having bloomed. The rose having bloomed. This part is nominative absolute or absolute phrase. The butterflies sat on it. And sat is the only principal verb or finite verb. So it is an example of simple sentence. Now let us come to the fifth example. Okay? The beggar was hungry. The beggar was hungry. Full stop. The beggar was hungry. The person gave him some food. Here there are two sentences. The beggar was hungry. Beggar is the subject. The person gave him some food. There is another sentence and the subject is person. As there are two different subjects, you are at liberty to use nominative absolute or absolute phrase. Clear? I have already reminded you that it is called an absolute phrase because absolute means independent, complete in itself. It is a phrase which is complete in itself, which is independent, and it has no relation with the main part of the sentence. So as there is was, you may write the beggar having been hungry. The beggar having been hungry or you may write being hungry, comma, the person gave him some food. So the beggar having been hungry, it is absolute phrase or nominative absolute, being hungry, and the main part of the sentence is the person gave him some food because gave is the only principal verb or finite verb. However, first of all, you will have to remember that in the case of nominative absolute or absolute phrase, the subjects must be different. Must be different. And if the subject is the same person, it will be participle. it will be participle. Thanking all of you. Good night. And I hope that all of you have understood what absolute phrase is, what nominative absolute is, and how it can be constructed, and how two or three or more than three simple sentences can be combined into one simple sentence by using nominative absolute. Good night. Good night to all, and I think that you will not forget to subscribe my channel. This is my request.